Are there any ministerial statements? I call the Honourable the Premier.
Mr Speaker, the last sitting day of the year. Mr Speaker, Queensland has one new case of COVID. 2 other new cases are in hotel quarantine after interstate travel, which means we now have 18 active cases. The community case was reported late yesterday afternoon. A man who had been on the Gold Coast, fully vaccinated, infectious in the community for 3 days. Queensland Health has advised that he visited Robina Town Centre last Friday, November 26, and the Fernvale Bakery on Saturday, November 27. Queensland Health has published full contact tracing online, and I encourage everyone to check. As I was saying yesterday, the Gold Coast is a tourism centre, and I need to see the vaccination rates higher. This case is unlikely to be the Omicron variant, although further testing is underway. But we must remember that while there is much we are still learning about the new variant, we know that the Delta variant spreads faster than early forms of the virus and can cause some extreme infection. That's why it is important people keep getting vaccinated. Keep using the check-in app. That's really important. Keep getting tested if you have any symptoms. Our vaccination rates continue to climb. We are now at 86.65% of Queenslanders have had at least 1 dose, and 76.8% have had 2 doses. Queensland Health delivered 11,014 doses yesterday, and there were 10,349 tests. I urge any Queenslander who is not vaccinated to get vaccinated and enjoy all the festive season has to offer. Mr Speaker, it's been a busy few days for our emergency services dealing with the recent rain. The SES received more than 300 requests for assistance in the past 24 hours. Swift water rescue crews were also called to 14 incidents and required to assist in 6 water rescues in southeastern and southwestern regions. Tragically, Mr Speaker, we lost a life west of Toowoomba, a 73-year-old man from Roma. Our thoughts go out to this man's family and to his community. I can't stress how important it is to never drive through flooded waters. Mr Speaker, if it's flooded, forget it. I wish to again express my thanks to the emergency services personnel, volunteers and local government officials who have worked hard over the past 48 hours to keep their communities safe. I know many residents are now getting on with the job of cleaning their homes once the water recedes. QFES crews will today begin damage assessment in Inglewood, where many properties were inundated. Rural crews will also help with the clean-up. In good news, the Bureau has advised us this morning that the heavy rainfall experienced over the past few days has decreased significantly in most flood-affected catchments. The possibility of thunderstorms and localised flash flooding remains, particularly across the saturated catchments. Flooding is still occurring in the border rivers and the Condamine River, and the major flood warnings remain for the parts of Logan and Dawson rivers. We're keeping a close eye on Gundawindi, with the peak expected tomorrow, but at this stage it's expected to be lower than the levee. Widespread minor to moderate flooding is also occurring across many inland rivers south of Rockhampton, with major flooding along the Logan River at Beaudesert. Mr Speaker, we know that Queensland is a place of extremes. Even with this rain, many areas of Queensland still remain in drought. In south-east Queensland, we have only seen a small increase in water storage levels, which remain close to their lowest level since the drought. The SEQ water grid is at 59.5% capacity, and in good news, Mr Speaker, it's about 4% increase over the past week. And, Mr Speaker, this means the recent falls means that we are unlikely to face water restrictions in south-east Queensland this summer. So that's a welcome relief. Mr Speaker, the La Nina weather pattern is expected to bring wetter-than-average conditions for much of the east coast of Australia, with a high chance of above-average rainfall in eastern Queensland until at least the end of January. Mr Speaker, Queensland's domestic economy is the best performing of any state on the mainland during September quarter. Yesterday, well done, Treasurer. Yesterday's national accounts data shows Queensland's domestic economy grew by 1.8% compared with a fall of 1.8% nationally. In New South Wales, the domestic economy fell by 6.5% and Victoria fell by 1.4% because of the COVID outbreaks. The data shows our strong health response combined with our economic recovery plan are delivering for Queenslanders. In the September quarter, Queensland's domestic economy was driven by increased investment in frontline services and infrastructure from our economic recovery plan, higher household spending from our strong health response preventing extended lockdowns and protecting consumer confidence, and record investment in housing and growth and investment in renewable energy infrastructure. Importantly, Mr Speaker, we have ensured Queensland businesses have the confidence to invest, with business investment up 8.5% over the year to the September quarter. That is remarkable, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, our economic recovery plan and strong health response is delivering nation-leading jobs growth and a stronger economy. Mr Speaker, speaking of the economy, a strong and skilled workforce is vital to rebuilding our economy. Thanks to our strong health response, nearly 90,000 more Queenslanders are in jobs now than at the beginning of the pandemic. However, significant workforce shortages have affected businesses throughout Australia during the pandemic, continue to have an impact in Queensland. And in some sectors, we're creating more jobs than we have Queenslanders to fill them. Mr Speaker, my government is committed to working with industry and the private sector to address workforce shortages in Queensland. Today, I'm pleased to announce that next year we will host a Queensland Workforce Summit to address this issue. On Friday, 11th of March 2022, we will bring some of the best and brightest minds in business, the labour market, education and training and economics, along with employee representative groups and community leaders from regional Queensland, Mr Speaker, to work on a strategy to attract more skilled workers to our state and find new ways to address workforce shortages here in Queensland. The summit will include keynote speeches as well as panel workshops designed to develop cooperative solutions to these challenges and encourage innovative thinking. Mr Speaker, Queensland is the place to be. Our economy is bouncing back stronger and faster from the impacts of COVID than any other jurisdiction. And I want to thank Minister Farmer for working very closely with me in driving this summit, which will be held in March next year. And finally, Mr Speaker, Christmas is just around the corner. You can almost hear Santa coming. And while many of us look forward to the festive season with our families and friends, it can also be a tough and isolating season for those less fortunate. It's a busy time of year for our wonderful charities who support people experiencing poverty and disadvantage. Many run annual Christmas appeals to provide much-needed support during this time. They selflessly give hope and joy where they are in short supply. Their generosity isn't seasonal either. Throughout the year, they demonstrate kindness and care right across the community. Mr Speaker, every Christmas my government supports 4 charities. Today I'm catching up with the Smith family and, on behalf of Queenslanders, handing over $100,000 to help launch their annual Christmas appeal. Next week, at the annual Cabinet Christmas reception, I'll also be presenting 3 other charities, the Salvation Army, Uniting Care and St Vincent de Paul Society, with 100,000 donations each. I want to encourage Queenslanders to consider the gift of giving a donation this Christmas, no matter how large or small, as your donation could help find a Queensland family a home, and not just for the holidays. It could provide a hot meal or a helping hand, or even some presents for their children, or it could put a gift under the tree. So please dig deep, donate, and let's all have the festive Christmas spirit.
I call the Deputy Premier.
Mr Speaker,